Let's go Islanders. Let's go Islanders. A stupid way to start a video. Uh, I do want to say, this is a little sidebar. This is going to be called The Great Unmasking because, oh, see, I just took out my mask. I'm so fucking clever. But the reason I did that reminded me of something funny. The Islanders tried to change their logo, I think, in the late 90s. And they tried to change it into like a guy with a coonskin cap, and he was halfway in the water. He had a hockey stick, and that was their version of an actual Islander, which they've never humanized. You know, this has been the same logo since they became a team. I think in 1970, 67. They've been around a while, and I love this original. I love that Y turning into a hockey stick. I love the Long Island's on it. I love it. I love even this stupid little mistake where the little I goes into the, instead of pushing it a little that way, they just said, oh, we made a mistake. We're going to just stick with it. First draft. We're fine with that. That's what we do here on the island. But the Islanders are down 2-1 in their series with the Boston Bruins, but that's okay. Because I'm going to babble a little bit about this because I don't think I can go on 10 minutes about the mask situation, but I do have some opinions on it that'll probably get me through 7 or 8 minutes. So a little bit more about the Islanders and the reason I did that pounding on the table. And I was talking about the mascot that they tried to get in the 90s, and it lasted 1 year. And I was dumb because I thought they were going to stick with that mascot, and so I kept all of this paraphernalia I had, and I should have collected all the new paraphernalia because it was gone in a year. The funny part about that was people thought the dude looked like the Gordon's fisherman, and he kind of did. If you're familiar with Gordon's fish sticks, other fine fish products, no hate on Gordon. But the guy is not exactly what we'd call a cool guy. And you certainly don't want him representing your hockey team. But I guess the big rival of the New York Islanders is, of course, New York Rangers, the crosstown rivals. And apparently when the first game, when this new logo came out and they had on their jerseys, it was in Madison Square Garden where the Rangers play. And the fans said, "We love fish sticks. We love fish sticks." That probably helped exacerbate the ending of the Gordon's Fisherman type logo for the Islanders. So, a little hockey history for you. I don't know if it's interesting or not, but hey, here we are. Doing another outdoor show. I appreciate you all for watching, and let's talk about the Great Unmasking, as I'm calling it. So I just went out today, and I feel weird because I'm still wearing my mask, partially out of habit. Partially, I'm doing a little test run because June is my bad allergy month, and that's sometimes sometimes I'm coughing a little bit out here or doing that. It may have something to do with the allergies. It varies. It depends. We had a very wet spring, and even going into summer, we've had a decent amount of rain. Move over here, get a little more shade so the sun doesn't go in my eyes and distract me, and therefore distract you. Try to keep out of the sun. I love you, sun, but right now you're bugging me. But so going out into public with the mask, I still try to wear it. I went to Target today. I went to the bank. I went to a bicycle shop to get a new seat. As you know, I'm trying to lose some weight. It's coming off a little bit. I still got a long ways to go. But the Great Unmasking has occurred, and it's a beautiful thing. It's nice to see people's faces. I'm all for it. Do I know if you're vaccinated or not? No. Do I honestly maybe care? Not that much because I'm not I am vaccinated. I honestly, I think about like people in their 20s who aren't getting vaccinated. I don't hate on them. If I were in my 20s, I might not either. Say, hey, I'm going to get it. It's not going to kill me. And when you're in your 20s, you don't think of repercussions. You don't think of maybe going and hugging grandma, giving her a little kiss, and her possibly dying from that. But to be honest, my 20s self would say, well, grandma should be vaccinated, should she not? So I understand that the 20s mindset. I was once there. Having said that, there's some weird observations over the course of this pandemic that I've noticed. As many of you know, I worked with elementary school kids until August of last year, and I transferred to the local high school. Now, working with little kids last summer, because I did that's the daycare program basically. We had couldn't have too many kids because we were social distancing. So most of the kids, I think we had 16 kids at the most, usually around 10 in the daycare program last year. We spent most of our time in the cafeteria so we could spread out. We go outside and play. And it was very difficult for those kids, but I got to give them a lot of credit. These are 5 to 11-year-olds, and they're having to wear a mask all the time, and they generally did a great job. I mean, it wasn't fun for us adults going, put on your mask. Put on your mask correctly. Go wash your hands. We had an entire program. We had the dots, or we did little taped X's actually, in the cafeteria, and we did our best. And I felt like we sprayed down all the time after snacks and after we went out and did recess. We really, I think, did our due diligence as best we could. The weird thing I noticed last summer, and let's be honest, we were in the midst of this pandemic. I saw a lot of kids in the public realm with no masks, and that was weird to me. See adults with masks, kid no mask on the kid, and I'm like, okay, for one thing, I know we make kid-sized masks. For another thing, put an adult-sized mask on them, just if nothing else for show. But it was weird to me that, do you really think that people under 18 can't spread diseases? They're the best spreaders of diseases. I've worked in a school, I know. I saw this kid in a Chinese restaurant. People are socially distanced. Everyone has a mask except for this fucking guy. Dad has the mask, kid no mask. And I'm like, really? All it takes is that kid to touch that doorknob, which all of us have touched. Not all of us have washed our hands before we came into that restaurant. And there you go. There you go. Not necessarily COVID, but probably something. Go hug grandma. She's dead because we didn't have a vaccine this time last year, right? So I found that annoying and a weird anomaly in this whole thing. Now it's the opposite. This is the other thing that's odd. When I went to Target today, almost all the adults wore masks in there. I think we've just been kind of conditioned to do it. So I think a lot of people are doing it out of habit. I do it because not only out of habit and out of respect for my fellow humans, this is my worst month for allergies. June, I get them, so I might have mentioned that before. I don't know. I had to cancel one of these videos. It got kind of screwed up. So if I am mentioning this again, I'm sorry. But I'm keeping this on throughout the month of June, just to help me with my allergies or see if it helps with the allergies. I assume it will. Yeah. So it was weird. It's weird seeing the opposite. Like now, a bunch of adults with no mask, but kids with masks. Like, why wasn't that precaution being taken a year ago, 8 months ago? I don't get it. I don't understand the different mindset on that. Maybe because the kids aren't vaccinated, but your kids weren't vaccinated when this thing was full blown, so I don't understand that. Having said that, I am vaccinated. I think a lot of you guys know that. I think I've mentioned it. Yesterday, my son Logan got his first vaccination. Dante does not want a vaccination. He's generally quarantined anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Most people that come in contact with him are being or have been vaccinated, so if he doesn't want to, I've let him have that choice. So my kids, I got one on the way to vaccinated, the other is not doing it. I'm vaccinated. I've mentioned that already. I'm trying not to repeat myself too much. There was another point I had to make about the masks. And by the way, I love this mask because I can just fanboy out. I was upset when I bought these. It's almost like, people have thought it's a t-shirt. It's a very thin material, but it flips, so it's double. Goes around the ears really easily. It's easy to put on and take off. I love this thing. I got 3 of these for $20, plus shipping came to $26, and I was not happy at the time. Like, I just spent $26 on these things. Now, here we are, like a year later. I'm so glad I got these. It feels like I made the deal of the century. It's like, man, I use these all the time. My kids use them. I feel so bad for my kids because they look like hockey fans, and they don't give a shit about hockey. So it's kind of funny. They're running around with their Islanders shit on their faces, and they're like, really? I got to wear this? I go, well, I mean, you have some other masks, but you seem to like these. Yeah, they're comfortable, Dad. Well, there you go. You got to be an Islanders fan if you want to be comfortable in this house, fucker. So how do we fill the last 80 seconds of this video? I know I had another point about the masks, and it's really bugging me that I can't think of it. Geez, let's see. Where were we? I don't think it had anything to do with school. I think I've covered that. Vaccines are covered. Maybe I should just end on Go Islanders. Maybe clap about fish sticks for another minute straight to make you guys crazy. Or just say thank you for those of you that took this pandemic seriously. I may have mentioned that. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned that. That was the one thing. I got one more minute. So I did not take it seriously at first. I mean, I knew it was a thing. I wasn't like a denier. But the first March of last year, I wasn't wearing a mask. I was going out to grocery stores and not wearing a mask. And people started wearing masks. And then finally, when it got to 50-50, people wearing masks and not wearing masks, I wore a mask. I would go for walks without a mask with my friend Pete. Probably shouldn't have done that either, but we were socially distancing, but we weren't socially distant from each other. We may have passed it back and forth. And then in April, I got pneumonia. May have been COVID-based or COVID-caused, to be honest, because they didn't take a test on me. But they said, no, this is pneumonia, which was going around my school 2 months before that or a month before that. So that could have been it too. Anyway, so there's just a little finish up. I'm sorry, it's kind of a disjointed rant, or not even rant, just a rambling. about masks and the great unmasking. But I will say this at the end: I'm happy to see your faces. Talk to you soon. Bye.